Yeah.
Going here in a
Oh,
second, I think. There we go. Starting to stream there. And then we can go, we'll see right there, and then we can go live there, and then that means we're on Facebook. So Facebook has its own thing for streaming, and you have to connect to it. I don't know if that's true, but I just keep going through the same process to be able to stream into groups. It used to be that you could just stream directly into groups, but you can't stream directly into groups anymore, from what I understand, which is why I jumped through the hoops. Okay,
and you're
well,
streaming on YouTube?
yeah, we've got it streaming on YouTube, um, Facebook, a couple channels on Facebook, and then on YouTube as well. So if we go here, I
Right
can see
now.
we can see Think Big channel on YouTube, and then the GHL Power Tools channel on YouTube, and then our GHL page on Facebook, and then into the group, and then my own as well. So you can just keep adding channels. So I got access to Restream years and years ago through I think it was like through AppSumo, and
Oh,
it was like a free plan that they had, or it wasn't a free plan, but I paid for it and then got lifetime access to whatever. But they want me to upgrade for different things, and for the most part, we just use it for what it is, and it works. And it works good. It works good. There's like Restream. There's Restream. StreamYard works really well as well. Um, yeah. So, and Jeff, you weren't on Thursday, were you? I
No.
don't think so. So I've got. Um, so I started working, making some of the changes to the QR code generator that we
Yeah.
were talking about. Here, let's just go into list all. I think we go edit. Um, what I added was it give you the option here for adding the card ID, the card ID as a URL parameter when you do this, or when you submit it. So what it'll do is if you go to facebook.com, let's say if we turn that on to yes, and then we go here, it will add the ID afterwards. Or no, it's not. That wasn't it there. Reload. Oh, I got to check something. There was a problem with high level yesterday. I got to see why am I getting an error there for that. Let's go to this one. Is that giving me an error? No, the other one gives me an error. Okay, well here it says QRC equals 884. So this would be like the QR code, and then that's the ID of the QR code. So when we come here, we'll capture that QR code ID, and then we can tie this back in directly with the card that we're using. So like 884 here, we say server 11. But then we can generate reporting and stuff too, saying, okay, so specifically, if you were going to use the URL parameter for yourself, like if you're going to use this in something that you are doing, then you would have to write the use of the QRC 884. Like if you're going to do a high level form, you'd put a query in there for anything that says QRC, and then you would capture that into a form. I don't know exactly how you'd use that, but if it was like for your own tracking, you could do that. So what we have here though is this is going to add the QR code ID at the end of the URL, which means when we come to this page specifically, we're going to be able to track which card the review request came from. And then when somebody leaves a review, um, we're capturing that information. So we can tie this directly. Next thing I want to add in is like a staff, um, what is it like where am I even? Okay, here, something for staff. I don't know if it'd be in here or if we just have another app where you add in your staff and then you can modify them, and then when you create that QR code or edit that QR code, you can pick which staff are tied to that card. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No,
And
that sounds that
we
sounds
can,
great.
if we can pick the staff which is tied to the card, then we'll be able to, if we pick the staff that's tied to the card, then we can then like do reporting for how many times that's been scanned, but also, um, in high level, we can send the name of the person who left the review back to as a webhook to our system. And the because we're capturing the contact name of the person who's like signing in through that 5 stars review, then we will be able to like tie them together kind of thing. So
Hmm.
then we could do a query, we can find that person in our system, or I feel like we can also do it through high level too, and then you can reward them or just to verify that that review came in, right? Because you would have on our system, if they tap the card, they sign in, you ask them for a review, and then like a couple days later or whatever, you see that review come in. Then we know like I'm gonna say like over 90% certainty that that was the person who left the review kind of thing.
Right.
Um, because yeah, they wouldn't have a contact. Oh yeah, because we're capturing the contact ID of that person as well. So then we can trigger stuff back in high level saying, "Hey, thank you for the review," and whatever else, however you want to do it. So,
Cool.
and then we can also create reporting. Then we'll also be able to create reporting for like specific staff of like how many reviews they captured and stuff like that too. I know we had just for what are the junk the franchise, I forget what it is. They'll come to your house and take a bunch of stuff away. My wife called them to like pull a couch, take a couch out of our basement and do some stuff like that. But 1-800 got junk, and maybe that's what they were.
Hmm.
Yeah.
As soon as they finish up with you, they have a thing on their page. It's a QR code. Hey, would you mind leaving us a review? We're in a competition with the Kamloops location. Whoever gets the most reviews in a month, you know, they get a steak dinner. So it'd really help us out if you could do this. I like how they did it because they added in the because if we did this, this is the reason why. It would really help us out because we can get a steak dinner. You know, if you do that, oh yeah, sure, you guys deserve one, whatever. Um, and then went through the whole left them a review and then you put their name in the review and stuff like that too. So this way will be good if people want to leave the name of the person in the review, but also because they're using their own card, we'll be able to tie that review directly back to the that person so long as they're all using the same card. So you said you
Sure.
have Jeff, you said you have a restaurant a restaurant or do you have a
Yes.
couple or
Yep. Just got one.
okay, and then in there you said are you guys using cards right now or how do you guys tie the reviews in?
So we started off with using the cards and just sending people right to Google.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening was, I mean, this was like a year ago, and we made up a bunch of the cards and we gave the cards to all of the servers. Well, the servers would leave the card on, like when they would give somebody the bill, they would leave the card on there and then, they'd say, "Hey, just go ahead and tap that." And well, we were finding that customers thought it was cool and they were taking the cards. So we were like printing
Oh,
cards all the time. And I was like, yeah, this is getting expensive. We're not doing this anymore. So then it got to be where the servers just stopped even asking for reviews. I found that they don't like to be proactive and say, "Can you give me a review?" Like it was easy for them to just leave the card on with the bill,
yeah,
but they never had to ask, right? So then I created like the little table tents, and leave it on the table. And because they were just left there, people became blind to them. We did, initially we got a
right.
couple of reviews, and then it turned into nobody was leaving reviews because it was on every table.
Yeah,
So it was like just another promotion. So now where we've ended up is after we've implemented this program, where we've ended up is we have the table tent, but we're bringing the table tent with the bill, and we're having the servers ask the question, "Hey, how was service today? Great." Or how was your meal? Great. Okay. Was there any reason today why you would say either service or the food was less than what you would consider 5 stars? And if they say no, well, I mean, first, if they say yes, there's an opportunity to make it better right there.
yeah, absolutely.
If they say no, we say, "Great, do me a favor. Like, here's your bill. I'll go back to pick up your card, but we're also do a review, and then we leave the table tent there so that when we take the bill, the new table tent with the scan for the review is right there on the table.
I
And
like that.
and we found every time we say, was there any reason that you would give us less than 5 stars? If somebody says no, and we put the thing in front of them and say, well, then leave us a review, they do it.
Yeah.
So that's worked pretty well. Um, but again, we're getting back to the servers are getting lazy where, we trained them to do it. They did it the first couple nights, and now it's like occasionally, and now nobody's doing it again. So we need to incentivize the servers to say, all right, number one, we can either say you have to do it so many times or else, something bad will happen. Or we can go the other way and say the more reviews that you get, then you get your steak dinner or you get a night out with your friends or whatever it is.
Yeah, I like the
And
competition side of
Yeah.
things.
yeah, me too. And
Yeah.
so, incentivizing them that way, but we're giving them the tools that they need and it works.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at. We're trying out all these different things and seeing what's working and where things fall off and that kind of stuff. So, um,
Yeah. That's
but
awesome.
we really like the smart reviews where if it's one or two, it gives the opportunity for feedback, and
Yeah.
then the 4 or 5 just go straight to Google. So that's been huge.
Awesome. Is that where you
So,
send people now then? You send people over to that then, the landing page first, and then oh yeah.
yep,
Perfect. That's awesome.
yep,
Um, very cool. I like that a lot.
yeah.
I'm glad to see you guys are implementing it too. It's you know what? There's with power tools, with high level, with everything. I found it to be very similar to people who have like sign up for a course or they buy a book or whatever. Some people use it and then a lot of people don't. Like they're like, "Oh, that looks cool." I mean, I buy a lot of software too. It's like, "Oh, that looks cool. Have you
I'll
used it
get to
yet?"
it
No, I
eventually.
haven't used it yet. It's sitting there if I want to use it, but I haven't used it yet. So I'm really glad to hear that you guys are putting that into practice and it's working out really well for you guys. Because I know
Yeah.
there's a lot of there's I don't always get to hear from the people who are putting it into practice and using it and things are going well. Because usually we have the support calls and it's usually when something's not working that people are like, "Hey, I'm going to show up and tell you whatever." But so it's only occasionally we get to hear like, "Yeah, this is working awesome." We can see it in the back end things are moving, but
Right.
um, don't
Well,
always
some of
hear
the
from them.
stuff
So
that I mean, I really want to. I just haven't had the time to dig in to learn the ins and outs of all
mhm.
of the loyalty and trying to figure out what we want to do for the customers, as a reward,
Yeah.
because I mean, there's kind of three distinct sections of our facility. We've got one where we've got like golf simulators and interactive darts in like a gaming area.
Okay.
And then we've got like a dining room and a bar in the middle area. And then we've got like a martini and a bourbon lounge in another area. And it's all under one roof.
Oh
And
wow.
so, we can do like a bourbon club, and then have a loyalty and rewards for people who are into like martinis or bourbons or high-end liquor and, do tastings and things like that. And
Yeah.
that's like one entire business model. And then people that want to play games and do golf league and dart league, like we can do other things for them. And then food. I mean, there's all these different things. It's just a matter of being able to sit down and learn how all of the stuff works and integrates and then put these things together. But like I'm super excited because all of the stuff that I've seen that
Yeah,
you've
it's
got
it
available, this is going to work.
well you could create I mean you could create different memberships and then have you could have you don't even have to have a paid membership, right? But you could use the membership as a way of segmenting your other customers too. So you have your base maybe have your main promotions that just kind of apply to everybody. That might be like the food and stuff like that, which is like, hey, here's our like even just like here's happy hour, here's what we do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, kind of thing. Here's like info, but then you could also have you could then have like the bourbon bar side. It's bourbon, right? You have a martini bourbon bar there, and then you could also have the golf simulator side. So if there's different leagues you could create a couple different memberships, and then based on which membership that person is a part of, then they only see the content for those two
Hmm.
different memberships, right? So you could have people who are only interested in like more of the gaming, golf simulator, that kind of stuff. You could have different stuff inside of that membership, which would show up at the bottom of the promotions. So like if I went to here and I went to promotions and then the preview page, like this page here. So down, oh, I don't even have it on this one. Let's go. Yeah, this is the restaurant one, but I haven't logged in on this computer, so it's probably not going to show me those. Let's go to see if conversations will work. No, that was something else I was working on. Points. Let's go promotions. Let's click on this and see where it takes me. Yeah, that's the right page. Okay, so down here, this is, so I didn't see this before because I wasn't signed in to it. So I didn't see any of the membership stuff under here, but here, I'm part of this membership. And then this is what I see here, right? This could be like the bourbon stuff, the exclusive stuff for like the game simulators and golf simulators and different packages you have there and things to bring people in. And then you could just have generic restaurant stuff or whichever facility stuff, in the top part as well. So you could do that and then you could have one for, the golf simulator side, one for the bourbon side as well.
Cool.
Where,
Yeah, I'm
you could
excited to
have.
dig into it.
Yeah, because you could have like a bourbon club where people pay for it, and then you're like, hey, we're doing a new tasting this month, or this kind of thing,
Right,
and then bring people in, and then have like kind of like you would do like chef's tables and stuff like that for different things, but you could do the same thing for
right.
bourbon tastings, or around here we have a lot of wine tastings with wineries and stuff like that
Okay.
too, so you could do that kind of stuff. Which just made me think of, yeah, if you think we've always wanted to go after more wineries, we just kind of end up getting busy with stuff. But one thing that just popped into my head is like, why don't we do um, doing like a community of like all the wineries? Because so many people come to visit this place. There's like in the area within a like let's say within a 2 hour drive, whichever way you want to go, there's over 300 wineries where we live in, and each one has like their own. Pretty much everyone has like their own tasting bar and everything like that, and you go for all their events. But they put events on all summer long. So I know we've talked a lot about having like community groups, and I know Bob who comes on here, we talk about. Having like like a community promotions program kind of thing where you have everybody sign in and everybody can get promotions to different businesses and using that kind of as a lead into other stuff you do. But I mean it would probably work really well for wineries and stuff in the area as well. Just something that popped into my head as I was chit-chatting here. But
Yeah, no,
yeah,
that's
you could
cool.
totally do that. You could create a couple different memberships and then just have them um they don't even have to be paid memberships. You could keep it simple and just do a free one, and then just notify. Just a good way of segmenting your
Mhm.
customers too. So if we were in here, so we could create different memberships. So you could have one that said, yeah, like the bourbon, sports. You could have whichever, and then inside of here, you don't even have to have multiple tiers. You could just have one tier for each one and then in under rewards, if you wanted to do rewards and give points and do stuff like that, you can. But if you just wanted to do promotions, you can link up different promotions under that tier as well. And then anytime somebody who has access to that tier logs into their thing, they're going to see what's going on specifically for that, just for that tier.
That's cool.
That would be a
Um,
good way of doing it. Then it just made me think that we could probably say like it wouldn't hurt to in the future here make we're working on a version 2 of this right now. I was talking every where our developers are working on it, but a way to maybe view instead of just seeing all the show walls, having everything in one big list, maybe we have it in, different tabs or something like that. So you
Mhm.
could filter or a drop down so you could just see all the different tiers and stuff like that, or the show alls or whatever.
So I wanted to ask you when you were just talking about the different wineries, but before
Yep.
we go down that rabbit hole, I want to give Judy an opportunity to speak because I feel like I've kind of stolen the entire hour here so far. So
Judy, how are you
No,
today?
that's pretty good. Thanks. That's okay. You're good. Keep on keeping on.
just
Keep on
sitting there as a
trucking.
fly on the wall, huh?
Yeah, I'm a fly on the wall today for the most part.
Cool.
You're great questions, Jeff. Keep on.
Okay, well, cool. Well, I appreciate it. And Jason, so what you just were talking about with the wineries and having a sort of a community, I guess, collaborative
Hmm.
page, if you will, that is very close or very similar to a project that I had started a couple of years ago. I was previously the president of my local chamber.
Okay, yep.
And so one of the things that I did as a side project was to try to create a like a community page where all the businesses would basically put, they would show their business, they would have their hours listed, what they would, just a little blurb about their business, and then a way for, people to submit questions, to the business directly. It was like kind of a lead gen type thing.
Yep.
Anytime that they had events, they could promote, push events through the page. And I mean, it got pretty popular locally. And so to take that to the next level, when you just said having some type of like a collaborative, everybody's coming together under one, I guess you can call it one app, right? Where
Yeah.
it's like this promotion, this promotion, this promotion. I could anticipate all of the businesses putting like if they have a special for the week or a special for whatever the time frame is, that would just be another one of those bars like you had under there for promotions.
Yep.
Uh, so all that to ask the question, would that be something that would fall on either me or my team to be that's the admin of the website on the back end, or would each business have their own individual logins to update their own promotions within my website?
Right now it would fall on the agency, like the
Okay.
person running it. Um, but I can see in the future having something where they could log in and update their um own system. I think what we would do then probably is, and something that I wanted to do for a while anyways, is um not well, still have the if you want to use the funnel page inside of high level to display your promotions and stuff, you can totally do that. But then if you wanted to be up and running quicker, we could just have like a white label domain or a gray label domain on our server that your promotions page would link to, right? And then you wouldn't
Gotcha.
have to go set up the funnels and stuff like that. It's basically it'd be probably more like how, let's say, like Boomerang or Boomerang Me or something like that is, where you're using their system, or like let's say you're using yeah, just another piece of software that ties in with high level. It would be
Hmm.
more like that, where okay, we got this installed. Here's your page already set up, already ready to go. You can customize, if you want to upload a different background image or something like that, you could do that. But right out of the box, you could just start adding promotions. And then here's your URL that you would go to. And then maybe you would have a slug that would be like um Jeff's restaurant dot whatever URL.com kind of thing. And then you would have a sign up page and everything that's on there that you could direct QR codes and everything at.
Okay.
Just to make it faster for setting up, but then it would be, because through high level, there's no way that we could just create a page that um where they could log in and update their promotions or whatever else, right? We
Right.
would have to have an external app anyways that they would log into, and then each business could update their own information. And I think with the new login system that we have, because we're creating a for like the rewards and promotions here, we have it set up that if you're coming in through high level, then you'll be able to access it without logging in because we'll be able to track your user ID. But if you're outside of high level, then it will ask you to log in, and then right now, each business, each person who's going to sign in is going to have their own login because they will be able to, each business will be able to access, their like this leaderboard, for example, here with a login, right? They can open it up on a tablet. They don't have to go into high level. They can go in and they can see their referrals, their contacts, promotions, membership tiers, all that kind of stuff, without logging into high level. But they would still have a login that they would have to use to gain access here.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I've been thinking about that, and I know our developers are currently they're transitioning everything over to like a version 2 of this. So it's been about 6 months now that we're moving
Hmm.
everything over and testing stuff. Um, so as that comes to a completion, we'll have the rewards, promotions, reviews, all that kind of stuff moved over to version 2, which will have logins and stuff like that too. And then we can add more stuff going forward that way.
Cool.
I think, yeah, I think it'd be great for the business to be able to log in and update some of their own information. Um, as
I
an
was able to.
agency, it would be, and then also want to be able to track staff too, so we can put staff in there
Oh,
as
yeah.
well. Just trying to figure, because the way we could set it up is that you can have it so you can track staff throughout the whole app, right? Through the whole program, through rewards and promotions and like the reviews, QR code and everything like that.
Hmm.
So I was thinking in our system, maybe we just have um, one staff option, and you could put all your staff in there and then basically be able to assign staff to different things throughout. Because I know I was talking to someone, it was quite a while ago, excuse me, but with rewards and doing contact, being able to give points to a
Hmm.
contact, they wanted to be able to track which staff member was giving the
Yep.
points to, so that when you come to this page, you have to select, who it is who's actually giving the points, so it's not anonymous on there, which I think could be
Yeah.
either a
Tracking
drop down
campaigns
or
good.
it's you're logged in somehow.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
So those are kind of next steps that we all have on the list. And now that we're back, like September, summertime is always kind of a I hope to get stuff done kind of thing. And now September is rolling around. It's a lot better. One of the cool things that we and I don't know who would be able to use this, but one of the things I've been working on here for the last week is for a project that we're running, and we actually have a number of campaigns that we're running for our clients, and we do some national campaigns where we're running ads for multiple businesses across the country. Usually we have one campaign that's Canadian and then one that's US. But one of the things we did here was we made it so that we can create campaigns and then collections, and then inside a collection here would be a collection of businesses. You can also upload a CSV of businesses in here, and then when we do that, we grab their location, their longitude, latitude details in here. Now, when you go to like Canadian Tire or like let's say Best Buy or something like that, or whatever store online, they ask you for like your location so they can kind of give you the closest business to wherever you're at. We're doing the same kind of thing, but within high level. So what we have here is kind of a back end one where when somebody fills out a form on one of our projects here with their postal code in it, then it fires off a webhook over to our server where we connect them with the closest business. I forget, I don't know where I'm going here. We connect them with one of the closest businesses in that province and then fire back through a webhook all the details of that business so then we can connect them and the dealer. So we can then say, hey, this person came in from this location, collect the information for the closest retailer for that business, then fire it back into high level workflow, and then send an email to the business saying, hey, you just got a new lead for somebody in your area who wants, whatever. You should reach out to them and connect with them as soon as possible. And then the other one sends over to the lead saying, hey, we're connecting you with this business. They're the closest, dealer closest to you, so you want to reach out to them, and or they'll be reaching out to you within 24 hours, kind of thing. And then
Mm.
the business, hopefully the business calls them back right away. We're already doing it with AI. We have a voice AI system that does essentially the same thing. The person calls in, we ask them for their postal code, and then we say, hey, and then it goes into another database, collects that information, and then sends it back to AI. And then AI is like, okay, great. I'm going to try to connect you with that business right now. And then it connects them with whatever local dealer they have.
That's cool.
Otherwise, it sends them a text message with the business details. But the way that we have that one set up is we have to build the workflow for every business in the thing. So if we've got, like, for example, we've got one campaign running right now where we have about 50 businesses, and we've had to create like landing page and or well, no, for that one we're using AI. So I don't actually know with the AI one, the voice AI, maybe it just automatically tries to connect them and then it sends the business details in. But with the forms, the way we're using the forms is that we have a different landing page for every business. And then so it ends up being we've got like
A
40 different
maintenance
versions of
nightmare.
landing pages. So, but so this would be you'd have to have a number of businesses in an area or wherever really, because one of the campaigns we're running is we're basically just have postal codes in a few different postal codes in each state that we're running ads in. And then if you're close to one of those things, then it will fire off and collect, and then align you with the closest business. And then we also have it set up too, so we're going to generate lead reports and have anything in here and show you how many leads you got and do all that kind of reporting too. So
That's
I don't know
cool.
if that's something that people would find also useful, but for running this, like it would make sense if you had, multiple um, if you have multiple restaurants across the country, where are we going to connect? Which one are we going to connect them with, kind of thing. And then, I mean, I'm sure all this information could all be fed back into AI too. If you had a conversation going with one and you wanted to find, hey, somebody puts in their postal code, and then you want to find the closest business for them, this would all work for that as well.
That's pretty
Kind of
cool.
neat, anyways. But the cool thing, so interest, one thing I want to say about that is, um, I've in the last week I've used a lot of AI to help write it. So, which is neat because it's all on our server, all inside of our system, but we're able to say, I'm able to describe to AI what I wanted, in what languages, in what format. It puts together, here's a base thing, and then has like 80% of it written, or most of it
That's
written, and
awesome.
then it's just tweaking. I can
Hmm.
tweak this to do this, and then go back to AI and say, hey, can you actually, I want to change this, I want to add this, I want to do whatever. And it's like, okay, here's how you're going to update this, here's how you're going to change it. And then it has all the functions and everything written. So it was really cool to be able to do that. Definitely sped up the development process of building some of this stuff out. And it's just kind of a lead off of our lead from, I think the conversation, I don't remember, we had it on Tuesday or Thursday last week, but we were just talking all about AI and how we can use AI to to make things faster, make things better,
Hmm.
kind of automate different things. So it was interesting that and then I looked into from Judy's suggestion where like I think it was Claude Code, looking in that, and actually Claude Code will actually you can load in scripts and programming in there, and it'll go through all of your stuff, and then you can say, hey, I want to add this to it, and it'll go update everything for you too. Really interesting, anyways.
That's pretty cool.
It's that's what I've been experimenting with.
Right
I,
on.
I just, I agree. Like we could all use more AI. It's hard to know where to use it or how to use it. If you don't have, I've always been the kind of person where I need a project to utilize it. It's not like I'm less of a, oh, I'm just gonna go experiment with this thing kind of thing. It's like I need a goal. I need a mission in my head
So
of, what am I
you
trying to
wanna hear one of
accomplish?
the things that I'm working on that you might tie into some of the restaurant projects that you've got.
Sure.
So a lot of restaurant owners that I talk to are completely technologically illiterate.
Yeah.
I mean, like maybe send an email. Even my GM can't do spreadsheets. It's a disaster for him, right? So um, I'm working on a call AI to update your website. And
Okay.
and so you call AI and basically the prompts are based on, if you want to update your food menu, then you say, I want to update my food menu. And then, what are the items? What's the price? What are the ingredients or whatever it is that you want to
Yeah.
say. And then everything that the person says on the phone gets passed into the database. And then when the web page comes up, all of that data gets pulled up on the website. So the hook is, non-tech users can update their website through a phone call, and
Yeah.
then people are like, oh my gosh, um, it sounds cool, and seeing it in action is really impressive, but coding that is an absolute nightmare. Like because you
Yeah.
you basically have to create the framework of your website and the variables that you want to have updated beforehand.
Yeah.
And and I mean that, but once you get it set up, it's just a matter of, the repetitiveness of it, and then it's easier so somebody doesn't have to know in and know code. They just have to, say it. But
So
that's
how are you doing it now? Like are you doing it then or
yeah.
is it for your own website then?
Yeah, what I'm doing it right now is for every week we have lunch specials. So I'm
Yeah.
having my GM call in with lunch specials. We have what we call Foodie Friday, so it's like a Friday night one-off, kind of good until it's gone. And then I have my bar manager doing drink of the month, and so she'll create the name, the ingredients in there, and a price, and then for 5 or 6 drinks. So those pages are all set up, and then she'll just call in and okay, what's drink number one? What's the title? What's the ingredients? What's the price? And let's do drink two, and goes through the whole thing. And then after she's done and hangs up, when you visit that web page, it's all updated.
That's awesome. And then do you have your website on high level or is it somewhere else?
Yep. Yep, it's high
And then
level.
all those things pulled in through custom values then or
Yeah.
yeah.
So what I did is I had it go through the contact, basically created similar to like just a form,
Hmm.
um, and created those fields, and then passed those fields over to custom values, and then had the web page, I had it into the workflow. So at the end of the call, it automatically updates the contact field into the custom field, and then when the web page pulls the data, it pulls it from the custom fields. So um, just a
Yeah.
couple of things happening on the back end. So
Yeah, so you've got the person calls in, it goes into it updates the custom fields for that contact, and then it
mhm.
updates the custom values based on that. So then do you have, I mean, so you have a couple specific things like the you said like the Friday good until it's gone kind of thing. And then your specials. is there a set, like you have a limited number of things, or like those are like one thing? Like Friday is going to be good till it's gone. That's one thing that gets updated. The drink specials, um, are there like a max of like five things that they can put in there, or is it?
Yeah, right now I've got it set at five, and then, however many ingredients are in each, I just tell her to keep it limited because it's a costing thing. But, probably, no more than 4 or 5 ingredients, in a specialty drink, and then, whatever the price is for that. Um, but yeah, um, that's still in beta. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got a couple of pages that I could, show for, somebody wanted to see it, but um, I don't have that fully live yet because I still have I still have some things that I'm trying to work with the GM on. This is how present it to AI, because if you say certain things, it'll display it a different way. So there's a
Oh,
learning
okay.
curve on both sides, where here's how you have to speak to AI, or here's here's how we want this to read on the website. So you can't say it like you would say it to another chef, because it's going to appear incorrectly on the web page, because it's not going to appear like,
Right.
the fluffiness of the marketing side of it. So
Yeah, yeah.
just a little bit of tweaky stuff that we're learning as we go. So
Yeah. I could totally see that. And yeah, yeah, I could see doing it when you're doing it through high level, it would work, but you need to have all the custom fields mapped up with all the custom values, but then also you're limited to how many things you can bring in. The only difference, I mean, I've done this through. So the interesting thing about custom values inside of high level is you could almost treat them like a database itself. So you could, if you could, I don't know how you could do, I haven't tried it, but you could have, when you talk to AI, you could be like, here's our drink specials. We've got 8 drink specials. Here's drink one, drink two, drink three, drink four, and then have AI store each one of those drink specials as like a CSV, custom value,
mm,
as custom values, and then maybe delimited with like, on a keyboard it might be the pipe symbol or something, the straight up and down one, and then you would have like basically a CSV. Then on your landing page, you could use JavaScript to pull in one of those custom values, and then it would parse that custom value. Here's our
mm,
drink specials. And then it would display it, JavaScript would then take that information from each one of those, from that one custom value, treat that as you were uploading a CSV file, which just has a bunch of, it's basically a database or like a spreadsheet, parse that, and then display each drink. And it wouldn't matter how many that you have, but you'd have to have the JavaScript on the front end to parse that CSV
gotcha.
file.
Yeah,
And then you can
that
have as much as you want.
yeah, what you just described right there is where I got stuck, is what happens if we want to do, 8 menu items instead of five, or,
Yeah.
what if we only have two this week, and now, it's I have blank spaces on the website, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So what you
So
just
then if you
described would
use
solve that.
JavaScript, you could probably tell, I mean, you could probably tell AI to, um, yeah, you could probably just be like, hey, I want to create, or I want to display a bunch of food menu or food items on our website using a CSV file, or a CSV variable parsed by JavaScript using like, whichever, and then, yeah, you could probably display it. I'd have to write it out to kind of what the prompt would be, but you could probably ask AI to come up with all that, and then, um, instead of having a like you can load inside the JavaScript, you can load a custom value into a JavaScript variable. So you could have variable equals food items, or variable food items equals, and then you have the custom value, um, merge
Okay.
key for that, and then it would load all the values into that custom value, and then you would have, then below that's where you'd have JavaScript, and then you would have, you would just parse that variable, break it apart by, first by the pipe delimiter, then by the the commas, and then it should be able to display those on a thing. Maybe I'll think about that on for Friday and how we can just do, or for Thursday,
Yeah.
about how we can do almost that exact same thing.
We'll keep that under your hat. Well,
Yeah,
I
okay.
guess I say that and then we're streaming.
Now we're streaming. But I mean,
Yeah. Uh,
it's not just for that. It could be really for anything, right? We did that for initially. That's actually how we initially did all the transactions and everything and displayed those on the front end for our rewards program. We were collecting the information, but then just updating a custom value inside of the high level account where and then on the front end we had we just parsed that data from
Hmm.
that custom value. We ended up switching everything over to be on our server because there's too much room for somebody to just go into one of those custom values and start messing around and deleting things, and now all of a sudden you've got different values and different variables, and how come my points don't add up, and
Hmm.
that kind of thing. So now it's all in one spot where the person, the user inside the high level account can't just go and, you know, decide they want to start changing numbers around.
Right.
So it just made it more, um, not just more secure, but just more
Accurate.
consistent,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyways, yeah, I'll show you a script on how to parse. Like, it doesn't matter what values you have in there, but I have a script around here somewhere that'll do exactly that.
That's awesome. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I know. Like, I wrote one originally, so I'll see if I can find it. If not, it won't take much to put one together.
Sweet.
We'll do
hey,
that for Thursday.
hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
Hey, so you built this software on your own and you connected it to GHL
That's all through GHL. Everything is native.
to be able to phone in and change everything like that? That's all built
Hmm.
into GHL?
Hmm.
How do you access that? I thought
So
you were saying that you were coding it.
Well, through workflows.
through the workflows. So basically what you have to do is create a form first and I mean, this is how I did it. Jason might have a shortcut, but I created a form in order to create the initial like custom fields. And then, so I'd put drink one title, ingredients, and then retail price, let's say
Yeah,
for the three fields.
Yeah.
And then what you have to do is go in and create custom values in the database that let's call it something, the same name or something similar. And then all you need to do is go into the workflow and then have it say, go when the user submits that form, which is in a sense AI is giving the data that would pass along to the form. It goes into the customer custom field, and then you just have to create a workflow in order to pass it over to the
The
custom
website.
field. Does that make sense?
yeah, the custom fields to the custom values.
Custom values, right?
Yeah.
And then it shows up on your website. Is your website built on GHL?
Hmm.
Okay. That's
So
how
on the
I'll
website,
connect.
yeah, on the website, you just have to say, um, like make the title in all caps or whatever, and then instead of having it, whatever the name of the drink is, it's just a custom value, and you're just pulling a custom value called, drink name. And then right underneath it, I had, just listed the ingredients, and it's, smaller font, and then all the ingredients um, got listed out.
Okay. Okay. So, okay. So you can't use AI then to help you with coding that, can you? Or do you?
Um, no, I don't think so yet, but High Level is coming out with an AI agent that would help you, is supposed to help you be able to do things like that. Um, but you wouldn't be able to use AI to do that yet. But it'll probably be able to tell you how to do it. And like inside of the workflow builders, if you asked, inside the workflow builders, if you ask the kind of like little prompt thing that opens up there, I think AI will then help you say if you described what you wanted to do, I bet you it would help you be able to kind of put something like that together.
So, this thing that I'm going to tell you guys about, it probably works in any sort of AI, not just
Hmm.
um, not just Anthropic, but um, before I tell you that, Jason, what did you build with Claude Code?
Nothing yet. I was
Oh,
using OpenAI and then just copying and pasting and moving stuff over into our thing. But I was looking at Claude Code and I actually kind of started setting that up because it'll go right in with um, our IDE. So I'm using Visual Studio Code. But what I was going through some of their videos is you can use the terminal inside of Visual Studio to describe to Claude Code what you want, and it will go through. But it will also first take a look at all of your code, see how everything works, and then know where everything is, and then potentially be able to be like, hey, I want to update this and add this, and then it should be able to do it. So I'm going to start a new
okay,
workplace, not on the stuff that we're doing, and test a few things out and see how that works.
right on. So I'm not sure if you're aware, either one of you. So this is the thing that I was going to tell you is that there is a prompt generator within Anthropic
Okay.
on Anthropic console, I believe it is. And there's like probably it's been a long time since I looked at it. I actually signed up for it, paid money and everything, but so I think it's on the drop down menu if you go to Anthropic console or something like that.
Okay.
And you may have to sign up different for that. It's different than Claude, right? So, and then there's a
Mhm.
prompt generator in there, and you could just tell it what you want to do, and then it'll generate you a prompt that you can use within Claude or probably any other AI.
Okay. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Console.anthropic.com.
Yeah.
What were the over the weekend? Yeah, we were using a few different ones. I was trying out Google Gemini for some image generation with Nano Banana and different things like that, and it was working out pretty good.
Yeah, you were liking what Nano Banana was doing?
You know what? We're brainstorming some ideas for a project we're working on, and a few people were in kind of a group chat, and some people are using OpenAI, and uh, it seemed like every image was kind of coming up the same, no matter who generated it. So then I jumped over to a different one to see what kind of options, what kind of what it would display from there when I prompted it with the same kind of with the same prompts, and it came up with something similar, but yeah, completely different than what OpenAI was doing. And I think it's just based on I don't know what it's based on, just like basically how the AI was trained, or what it has access to, kind of thing. So it did a lot of similar stuff inside of one, but then I switched over and it was like way more shiny and kind of exciting versus the other one, which was kind of more flat. But it was still good. I mean, both systems worked out great. It would be like going to two different designers and being like,
Yeah.
"Hey, can you give me a design for this?" And then one's like, "Here's my ideas," and then the other one gives you, "Here's my ideas," that kind of thing. So it was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I was trying to do just touch up some photos of myself actually within Nano Banana, and I was really pissing me off. And then I switched to Chat GPT, and it did a little bit better, but it still wouldn't. Like I was trying to, I don't know, my teeth were full of food or something like that, so I was just trying to brighten it a little
Okay.
bit, right? Just a little bit. And I kept on asking it to do it and giving it. It said, "Oh, I can't do it from the photo that I just redid and stuff." And then I kept on giving it to it again, but it just wasn't brightening them at all. And when it did, it just brightened them like bright white, like they were flashlights or something, right? You know
Oh,
what I
okay.
mean?
Yeah.
And so there was no in between. So, but actually, I'm not sure if you're aware that Canva actually is quite amazing.
Okay.
And they have come along a lot with AI and stuff. And so that's where I was able to take a photo that I kind of thought it was okay from Chat GPT, and then I put that I had to download it onto my computer and then put it into Canva, and then I was able to do the in between brightening of my teeth through Canva. But their premium is like amazing. They've really like come a long way, and nobody's talking about it anymore, and they're not advertising it, I guess, really, because they have such a big community already. Like they're
Yeah.
like hundreds of millions for sure if you use
I have to
Canva.
find out what we signed into Canva with Chandel's account, and I don't know what the password is. I got a new computer. Oh yeah, I was saying earlier that I went and got a new computer because I had the one that I got in July had the 16 gigs RAM and whatever, and then Ray came on. He's like, I got 32 gigs, and now I'm like, oh, I need 32 gigs as well. And anyways, I got the computer at Costco, so I get to return the old one, and I bought a different one from there. But anyways, I don't have my passwords. I'm missing a couple. Long story short, short story long. Anyways, cool. Love to chat more about AI, but I've got to run there here right away. So thanks for jumping on, you guys. I appreciate it. It's always a good chat.
Thank
Um,
you.
I'm excited. I think on Thursday, yeah, we'll see if we can have some of that staff information into the NFC cards because I think that'll be awesome. And then we'll have a chat about how you can parse JavaScript on the front end there in a from a custom value. I think that'll be I've got it here somewhere, and I'll show you how to do it.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Okay. You
you.
guys have an awesome rest of your day,
Hey, you
You
and we'll
too. We'll
too.
talk to
see
you
you.
soon.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
See ya.